The Denon DJ Prime 2. Could this be the ultimate 2-channel standalone unit? Welcome back, Jamie Hartley here again from Crossfader, and as you can probably tell, I'm not in the studio. I'm over in Fort Lauderdale still, checking out this brand new product from Denon DJ. Here we have the Denon DJ Prime 2. It's the 2-channel version of the Prime 4. We're going to take a deep dive into this product today. You're going to learn what features it has, what it can do, and at the end, I'm going to give you some opinions about this product, where I think it sits in the market, tell you its price, and I'd love to hear your feedback as well in the comments. So, as always, please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff to help us keep making more videos and reviews just like this one. As you can see here, the Denon DJ Prime 2, it's a smaller version of the Prime 4, which is already out there. It's been released and it's been highly acclaimed. You know, there's been a lot of products going off the shelf for the Prime 4. But naturally they had to add to that product line and create a Prime 2. We've got 2 channels, it's fully standalone. It's worth noting at this point that it doesn't currently work with anything such as Serato or Traktor. It's a standalone unit that works with the Engine OS operating system that is built inside this unit that is super powerful, that we're going to take a look at shortly. Now, there's a few things to note. We've got a 7-inch multi-gesture touch display here. So we can do things like this, stretch and contract the waveforms. We can touch and navigate through our library on here, which we're going to look at shortly as well. The jog wheels are 6-inch touch capacitive jog wheels. And we have all the usual things like a full 3-band EQ with trim level controls, filter controls underneath. We've got performance pads to access all 8 performance pad modes. We've got the full throw, tempo and pitch adjust. We've got these nice tactile cue and play buttons, which are inherited from the Prime 4. Track skip, beat jump controls. So if you want to skip through a song in phrase, you can choose different parameters using the loop encoder here. You'll notice as I turn the loop encoder, different length beats appear on the center display in the jog wheel. That's really useful. So 16 beats, for example, we can beat jump forward and backward through the song in 16 beats. These are all things that are also found on the Prime 4, and you know, it's great to see them here on the Prime 2. Getting some music on this unit. So you've got a multitude of options. Basically, you could plug in up to 3 different storage USB devices. There's 1 SD card slot, and there's also an inbuilt SATA port bay. So you can put a hard drive actually internally into this unit. So you could rock up to, you know, one of your mobile events or gigs, and you can literally just plug this in and off you go. Your music's already in there. Another option that we have, I'll just show you on the screen, is you can actually access streaming services. So currently Tidal is supported, and coming soon we're going to have SoundCloud, Beatport Link and BeatSource. All you need to do is log in on the screen, and then you can simply toggle between your device or your drive and then into the streaming service. So it's got fully wired connection to the internet and Wi-Fi capability as well. So plenty of options there for sourcing music. As you can see, I'm in Tidal at the moment. You can even go into things like genres that are already pre-set up playlists, would you say? And we can go into electronic, for example, and into playlists, and it'll load the playlist, Best of Electronic 2019, and already you're getting suggestions of maybe what you want to play next in your DJ sets. So this is a really, really neat feature to be able to access the streaming services, to add to your own current music library as well. While we're talking about the display, it's also worth noting that you can actually preview tracks. Let's scroll down and find a track. We can preview it by tapping the album cover artwork. And then if you've got headphones, it can come through the headphones without coming out of the master levels here. This is a really neat feature to be able to test what you want to play next without actually loading it into a player. We also have a swipe down action here to access the console menu. There's a few extra features such as enabling the effects. There's a shortcut to the record feature, which you can also access in the menu by holding view. We've got the continuous play, so if you're, want to leave some tracks on an event or a wedding just in the background and you want to go, have a drink, you can do that and just leave a playlist running through. And we've also got the quantize option to turn on and off there as well, which will affect how the hot cues respond. And you can also change the quantize value within the preferences and the settings of the Prime 2. If you're already a DJ that's got, say, a record box collection, you can plug your record box USB in and it can internally transfer all of those data points like your hot cues and your loops all inbuilt into the Engine OS and in the Denon DJ Prime 2. So say for example, you've got a friend coming over, he's a record box DJ, and you want to go back to back, you can just plug that USB in and you can both enjoy playing back to back without having to transfer any data across. It does it all inbuilt in here. So that's a really neat feature as well. Also, maybe you've got a friend coming over who's bringing some new tunes and he hasn't got the Engine Prime software. He can plug his drive in there and it will analyze the music inside the player as well. So again, it's super powerful having the Engine OS inside a unit like this because it can analyze music internally. We don't have to do it on a laptop, but there is also that option as well to use the Engine Prime software to analyze, prepare and manage your music and then export it to a USB drive ready to play as well. Still focusing on the screen, there's an abundance of library management options and ways you can navigate through your library. So we've got crates here, we've got playlists. You can go into a prepare folder. So if you're, for example, in a crate, you can swipe to the left and it will add it to the prepare list. If you swipe to the right, it will load the song. You can choose which deck you want to load it onto. So say 1 or 2. Underneath the prepare playlist, we also have just the folder itself. So if you've just got some tracks on your device and you want to analyze them, you can navigate to a folder on your device and get them analyzed and loaded into the player. And there's also the search feature as well. So you can search through your library. It's worth noting the streaming services also have that search bar as well to make it nice and convenient to search through millions of tracks that are available to us. Not only that, but you can create your own playlist right here on the Prime 2 itself. So we can tap this icon, go to create playlist, and you could name a new playlist, for example, test 1, create, and then tick songs that you want to add to that playlist and just simply drag and drop. So again, more proof as to how powerful the Engine OS is inside here. It's like having an iPad or even a laptop powering this thing, but built inside. Being able to drag and drop, move things around, and use the multi-touch gesture is just, it's all of those things that make your workflow much easier in an all-in-one unit. Something else worth noting on the screen is that if you prefer your waveforms to be horizontal, you can quickly hold Shift, press the view button, and now we can see the waveforms in horizontal view, which is really nice. They're stacked on top of each other. This can help some DJs out. Underneath the waveforms, when it's in this view, we've got these nice new, these are the first time I've seen these, but the effects select, and these correlate to FX1 and FX2. So you'll notice we've got the actual physical controls on the unit here and here, but it displays on the screen all the parameters. So for example, we can turn FX select this knob here and it will scroll through 13 different effects to choose from. Let me just show you. We click in the pot to select the effect, then we can scroll up and down. I can change the feedback. If I click the pot in, I can change the beat time. So here, for example, I'm setting up half a beat, echo, use the wet and dry, turn it on. Let's have a listen. These obviously work post fader, and FX1 correlates to channel 1, FX2 correlates to channel 2. You can have different effects on each side and scroll through them as you please. They're really intuitive, really easy to use and sound great. Just note that this display here in the vertical view is just underneath the overview waveforms just here as well. Moving over to the player's performance features. So along the bottom of this Prime 2, on each side we have 8 different performance modes. We've got hot cue, loop, roll, slicer, and then if we press loop again, we've got auto loop, and if we press slicer again, we have slicer loop. So hot cues allow you to set up points throughout your track. These are nice tactile rubber performance pads, so they feel really great to play with if you do any hot cue finger drumming or anything like that. They're a nice size and they're nicely spaced, so you know you can really easily play along with them. The loop performance mode, you can store loops in there, so you can set them up in the Engine Prime software or just on the unit itself. So for example, if a track's playing, you can just tap one of the pads and then tap it again to set up a loop. Loops can also be controlled by the loop encoder here, so we can click the loop encoder in to undo a loop, or choose a different length, for example, 16 beats, click it in and it will do an auto 16 beat loop. I could also store that in the performance pads by hitting an empty slot. If you want to delete any, just hold Shift and you can delete them. Tap a pad again to undo the loop. Another thing that's really cool and worth noting with loops is that if we set, say, a 1 beat loop, for example, we can change the in or out position. So tap out, for example, move the jog wheel, and you can tighten that loop manually to create cool build-ups or perform creative transitions. Obviously, just like the loop encoder here, we have another auto loop performance pad mode, so tap loop again, and we can set up all different length loops. These parameter buttons will also toggle up and down various different things in different pad modes. So in the auto loop mode, we can half or 2 times loop using these as well. So plenty of options when it comes to looping. The roll performance pad has loads of different parameters. Now, you'll have to learn what those parameters are. When you tap it, it will continue playing. Sorry, when you hold it, it will continue playing on one side of the waveform, and it will roll part of that song. So when you let go, it'll jump back to where it would have been in the track originally. So we've got 2 beats here, 1 beat triplet, half a beat triplet, quarter beat triplet, and an 1/8 of a beat. And you can get creative with that while you're mixing. And do some cool little rolls in the mix. Next, we have slicer. Now, you'll notice that the light on the performance pads follows along across 8 beats in length of music. So if we hold any of the performance pads, it will roll that beat that it's currently on. So let's say if I hold this one, I can change the roll length with the parameters. I could knock it down, go up again, and you can chop up different sections of the song. And get creative with it that way. Tap slicer again, it enters slicer loop mode, and what it does is it just loops those 8 beats there, and then you can just focus on different beats within that 8 beat parameter. To come out of it, tap slicer or go into a different performance mode, and you can automatically come out of that slicer loop. Another performance feature that we have is slip mode. So when slip mode is active, you can do anything to the track. I'll just stop it with my hand when it's on the vinyl mode, so you can see that the track continues playing on the screen, and when I let go, it jumps to that point. I could use hop cues, for example, and sample in different hop cues without losing my place in the mix. Another neat performance feature on the Denon DJ Prime 2 is its ability to key shift, key sync, and just stretch the audio to drastic BPMs. So there's a few ways to showcase this. First, if we've got tracks that don't theoretically mix and key with one another, we can force a track to find the closest match by key syncing. So if a track's playing, for example, on this side, I can hold the key lock button here and it will key sync. So if we look at the display, this one over on this side is 2A at the moment. So just bear in mind as well, you can change the notation to classical or Camelot. If I hold key sync button here, you'll notice on the display it's got -3 semitones to 2A. So these will now mix in key. You can also tap on the screen where the key is and manually go up and down by using the plus and minus, choose different keys and go up and down by 12 semitones. Also, we can change the pitch range. So if we hold shift and then the pitch bend buttons plus and minus, we can change the range between, we've got it on the screen here by the way, between 4%, 8%, 10%, 20%, 50% and 100%. So for example, at 100%, with key lock on, we can stretch that song and it holds its dynamics really well. So if you're mixing between genres a lot and you're doing a lot of big stretch transitions, then that technology is in there within the Engine OS to allow you to do that and make it sound pretty good. Just next to the key sync, we also have the sync option. So you can sync the BPM of the songs so that they will play in time with one another at the same BPM. Hit sync on both and they will sync together. To turn that off, you can hold shift and just press sync and it will deactivate that feature. Above that, we have the vinyl that we can turn on and off. So when it's on vinyl mode, you can scratch using the jog wheel. When vinyl mode is turned off, the top of the jog wheel acts as a nudge, so we can nudge it faster and nudge it slower. When it's on vinyl mode, the edge of the jog wheel does that feature. So you can still get tracks in time, even on that mode. Above, we have the stop time. We can have it as an instant stop when we pause it, or if we move this round, you can make it come to a halt much slower. Once you've got familiar with all of these performance features and you want to put a set together, it's worth noting that you can record that set to any of the devices that you've got plugged in to the Prime 2. So to do that, we hold the view button to access the menu and simply just hit record here. You can also choose a different source. If there are a few of you plugged in with different media sources, you can access the different USB drives there or SD cards. And then we have utilities and preferences. Now, just like all of Denon's range of Prime products, the utilities and preferences are quite in depth. You can alter loads with the engine OS, and then obviously how the unit works, how all of these preferences change how this unit responds, and you can set it up to your personal preference. You can then save that to your drive. So if you went and plugged in into another Denon DJ Prime 2 or even other players, it would set up that unit to your preference, and you can load that from your drive. In the utility, we have all the settings like connecting to the Wi-Fi, changing the nudge sensitivity of the jog wheels, track preview on and off, the screen brightness. There's loads of mic settings in there. It's worth noting we have 2 microphone channels. They have a shared 3-band EQ here with a talk over option. You can change in the settings as well, things like how the talk over responds, whether it's normal or fast, the talk over level, the attenuation, whether the mic is sent to the booth output. You've got things like the EQ type, so you can change the EQs from an isolator to normal, so you can do total kill on those EQs if you want. You can change the crossover between the high and low EQ. So again, there's so much that you can change in there. One that I really like is that you have the filter resonance, so how the filter sounds and how harsh it sounds, you can change that just in the settings. It's all, so you can set it up to your mixing style and your personal preference. A few last things to point out. We have an aux input here with a level control and a Q, so you can plug in an external audio source into the back and you can put that through the unit itself. We have a replaceable crossfader, so if you are like a specific scratch DJ and you want to replace that crossfader with something more to your taste, then that can be done as well. And there's also a range of inputs and outputs along the back, which we're going to take a look at now. So just showing you the back of the Denon DJ Prime 2, you'll notice that the screen is fixed here in this angle. It's a great viewing angle from the front, but I just wanted to show you the back of the unit so you can see. Along the back, we have the IEC power port here. We've got 2 USB ports for putting your media devices in there, or media drives. We've got the USB-B port, as well as a link port for the stage link lighting control. Moving along, we've got the booth output, which is an XLR, as well as a master XLR balanced output. We've also got an unbalanced RCA master out, where you can switch between stereo and mono as well. Next, we've got the aux RCA, which obviously you can control on the top of the unit, which I've mentioned. And then moving along to the end, we've got the combi jack microphone inputs as well, both 1 and 2. And then on the front, as you can see, we've got the 1/4 inch headphone output. We've got the crossfader assigned from A, B, and through, if you decide to use a crossfader or not. And then we've got the crossfader contour control, so you can make it nice and sharp if you're a scratch DJ, or if you like to mix with the crossfader, we can have it on that smooth curve there. Also, a nice touch, when you finish with the unit, it comes with a nice dust cover that you can just slide straight in over the screen. And there we have it, the Denon DJ Prime 2. Now this comes in at $1,399. So if you compare that to probably its most obvious counterpart, the Pioneer XTJ RX2 at $1,699, it's coming in cheaper. You're getting a lot for your money, I think. I mean, if you think about it, it's got a full operating system in there. And the power that you get, with that operating system, the multi-touch display, and just all of that in this nice compact unit is a really good solution for any mobile DJs, event DJs out there that are taking their equipment to their gigs. You've got the streaming, so you're future-proofed. If you want to start using streaming services in your DJ sets, we can access them right there on the unit. One thing to point out, that if you are a DJ that maybe wants to use things like external players or turntables and use that with your equipment, if you've got vinyl that you want to play, then this doesn't have any inputs for, say, a turntable source. So if you're that kind of DJ, you'd want to be looking at something like the Prime 4, which is the bigger brother of this, the Prime 2. We've got a separate review that you can find out all about the Prime 4 if you click the link, and you can find out all about that. But if what you've heard in this review kind of fits your needs as a DJ, then you've got a great solution here from Denon DJ. It's been great being out here with the Denon DJ team. They've run me through here in Fort Lauderdale, the Prime 2. And I've only had an hour or two on this unit, but because I'm familiar with the Prime 4, I could jump straight onto it. I felt right at home, and it was easy to use. It's a really nice addition to their Prime series of products, and I'm really excited to have a play around with one in the studio back at home and do some more on this unit. Thanks again for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff to help us keep making more reviews and videos just like this one. And always, please drop in the comments below your thoughts, what you think about this product. Is there anything you wish it had or you want to see in future updates? Let me, let Crossfader, and let Denon know. Thanks for watching. See you in a bit.